6:30. The June 20th work study session will begin. We'll start with officials' reports, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Could we have those doors? Could we have the doors closed, please? Okay. The 48th Annual Heritage Days celebration is now history. The weather cooperated and all the weekend activities were well attended. I'd like to once again congratulate Nancy Logan Gratz as this year's Grand Marshal. Nancy is so deserving of this recognition. At 90 years young, she is a shining example of civic pride and involvement. A 65-year resident of Southgate, Nancy is still volunteering as secretary of our case commission. All of our other traditional events were also well attended, such as Taste of the Town, the car show, and the Kid Olympics. Taste of the Town winners were Alex Kebab for the People's Choice Award and the Parthenon for Best Presentation. Special thanks to my wife Kim for once again coordinating this event. And I will tell you, it's like herding cats. She does this, it takes her about 6 to 8 weeks to get everybody there, and she does a wonderful job each year.
And the weatherman cooperated.
The car show was once again hosted by the Downriver Community Credit Union. 68 car owners participated in this year's event, which is up from last year's inaugural show. In addition to the car show, the credit union organized a business expo featuring businesses and service providers. This new event attracted a dozen vendors, and the recent additions to Heritage Day celebration were also well received. The second annual Cornhole Tournament benefiting our Southgate Police Community Resource Fund was also very successful. They raised $700 toward that public relations fund. Our DDA Director, Kaylee Mandrella, brought a new fundraiser to Heritage Days last year, and it was backed by popular demand this year. That was the Heritage Days Meat Raffle. For $5 a chance, residents and visitors had a chance to win 100 pounds of fresh meat, which was purchased from Trentwood Market. In addition, this year, a new freezer was provided by Lowe's. They donated it to go along with the meat. This year's winner of the raffle was Juan Salas, and the raffle netted over $500, so that was a good showing. Saturday night's laser show was also a hit as lasers filled the sky over Market Center Park. Many residents came up to me after the show and complimented the city on bringing this unique display to our Heritage Days celebration. All in all, it was a fantastic weekend. I would like to thank all of our sponsors who made this event possible. Our main headline sponsor was Dick Genthy Chevrolet. The Genthy family have been a consistent supporter of Heritage Days, and we truly appreciate their commitment to our city. Joining the Genthys were Advia Credit Union, Hennessy Engineers, Plant Moran, DTE, the Southgate Shopping Center, Quint Plumbing, Schiffman Fournier Law, Southgate Honda and Motorsports, Assured Partners, Norman Eddies, and Boost Mobile. And a special thanks to all of our volunteers, vendors, and employees who helped make this festival a wonderful success. For the past few years, our Public Safety Director, Joe Marsh, has been working with the administration to develop a Citizens Public Safety Academy. The purpose of this program is to provide insight to our residents and business owners about the duties and performance of our police and fire departments and the men and women who keep our community safe. The program is meant to build understanding, awareness, and rapport throughout this educational process. This year's academy will run for 8 weeks, from Thursday, August 8th through Thursday, September 28th. All classes will meet at the Southgate Veterans Memorial Library from 6 to 9 p.m. The program is free, but interested participants must be 18 years or older. Applicants for this year's Southgate Citizens Public Safety Academy applications are available at the front desk of the police department or on the police department website. I commend our Public Safety Director, Joe Marsh, and his staff for developing this program. It is just the latest effort to improve relations between our public safety departments and the community we serve. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
I actually have some information. The absentee ballots for the August 6th primary election will be mailed out Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So that'll be June 25th or June 26th. So they should be received by Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
That's
you.
all I have.
Councilman Kowalski,
No report, Madam Chair.
Councilman Graziani.
No report.
The school board did meet. They did some end of the year awards and recognitions, including an employee Titan Award to Dan Bone. He's the ground lead at the high school for all of their improvements at the track and field. So he did a great job this year of getting everything in shape and order. Also recognized with some students for the spring school record breakers, the state qualifiers, the baseball team. They were the Downriver champs. The 3 sport varsity awards, and they also gave out awards, the Titan Awards, to student athletes at Davidson and Anderson. So congrats to all those recipients. Councilwoman George.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Case Commission has been busy with the concerts in the park, and just to remind the residents that they are on Tuesday night at Market Center Park. No admission. Go and there'll be some food trucks you want to eat, and then here's some good entertainment. And the Senior Olympics will be coming up, and that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Planning Committee did meet Monday, June 10th. The item on the agenda was the site plan review for the proposed self-storage facility at 15601 North Line Road. Coming out of that, there was a few items where the developers undecided on keeping or demolishing the building. They're like 85% ready to make that decision. Brownsfield funds are pending for the demo, but according to the developer, it will not hinder forward progress. The developer also believes that the wetlands came about due to neglect, and I just wanted to find out if it's actually been designated as an official wetland. We can look into that. And then conditional approval by the Planning Committee was granted contingent upon list of issues being addressed, which is inside our packets for today. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Golick.
Madam Chair, the Parks and Recreation met last Wednesday. We were unable to meet in May, so we had a big agenda. Director Goddard is still working to staff her department. She has hired 2 part-time employees and are doing very well. And then also added into the budget this year is an arena manager position. And she's going to have the work description set up and posted, and that'll take a lot off her plate. With all the ice arenas closed or down for the summer, we are busy almost every day, whether it's a tournament or training or classes, and that position will really help her out. Southgate also received the bid award last week to host the Tri-Skates Figure Skating Championship in April of 2025. Those are skaters from Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana, and we received an overwhelming vote of over 70% of the people who voted to have Southgate have the show. Also, Julie was the Ice Sports Industry District 6-7 rep, which covered about 8 states, and as of June 1st, she's moving to a new position of the Northeast Regional Director, covering those 8 states plus 7 more. So big responsibility. She does have a cohort that does help her with those events, but nice to see one of our employees have that award. Recreation Department, tennis class. We have 116 participants already signed up for summer tennis, and that's awesome. And the golf course is also doing well with sales up over last year, month to date and year to date. And then the last thing we talked about was the recreation millage. We do have a lot of stuff going on at a lot of the parks, but I wanted to highlight Cobb Park, basketball court, and hoops are installed. We're waiting for it to be painted, striped, and sealed after it rests for 20 days. The new drainage has been completed, and the cut-in street parking and sidewalk concrete should be poured if it hasn't already. I know Saturday it wasn't because of the weather, but hopefully we have that covered. McCann Park, which is going to be our tot lot park, will be installed early October. Something Julie shared with us is that in the past, it took 4 to 6 weeks to order equipment, and now it's 35 weeks, because all municipalities are in the same boat with either a millage or funding that are ordering all the equipment. So if the residents don't see it happening right away, that might be the reason why. Waverly Park, the basketball court has been installed with the hoop and will also be painted, striped, and sealed. Play equipment will be installed in the fall after McCann Park. And then lastly, something that fell into our lap was Julie received an auxiliary grant from Wayne County for $58,400 to to use at the Police Auxiliary Park. And she's in the process of working on a bid package for a ninja course. And so as our theme is to try to have a different event at each park, that's the one she chose for that park. And then lastly, the commission members decided to adopt a park that we had done in the past. So each commissioner will be responsible for one park or two, and then report to Julie on a daily or weekly basis as needs and concerns arise. So it doesn't wait until the next commission meeting. So a good way to feedback to Julie, what needs to be done at the parks or things that they see happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Marsh, please, for the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening. The first item under Communications A is regarding the request to waive the bid process and purchase a flatbed kit for the refurbishment of an existing truck in our DPS fleet. The request is for parts only, as our mechanic staff will perform the installation. While this is a request to waive the bid, the vendor, Truck and Trailer Specialties, Inc., has agreed to match the state low bid for the equipment. Are there any questions from council? The next item is regarding the assignment of the waste collection agreement to Priority Waste with service beginning July 1st. Now, we're aware that the residents are experiencing a lot of issues with trash collection, residents and businesses. GFL has indicated that the diminishment in the level of service and attention right now is in part due to the transition going to Priority Waste. There's been call-offs and those type of things for staffing. I did talk with someone from Priority Waste today. He indicated that they're putting a tremendous amount of pressure on GFL to get current on all outstanding issues, including the replacement of carts before any takeover would happen. So they're working with us to get GFL's service to be improved. Overall, we believe a move to priority would be beneficial. All aspects of the current contract would be maintained. However, they do have some unique operational strategies I want to tell you a little bit about. We had an opportunity to meet with them and learn exactly how they do their operation. They incorporate a lot of technology into their operation. So, for example, all of their trucks are outfitted with a number of cameras, both on the outside and the inside. So the drivers are monitored throughout their entire day. They see what's going on the outside of the truck. They see what they're doing inside the truck. That information is actually live fed into a facility they call their PIT, which is an acronym. I can't remember what it stands for right now, but I think the T is for something with technology. But what they do is all the drivers, their videos are being live fed, so that if someone can see an issue going on, or if the city, we're made aware of an issue, we can communicate to them. And then that person in the pit can communicate directly to the drivers. So there's just this constant feedback loop about the performance, which will, result in improved operational accountability. Another benefit with Priority is that we will have access to a customer portal. This portal will allow us to any kind of complaints or issues that we're having, comments, requests, we can communicate directly to them through this portal. The other unique thing about it is if residents have issues that they bring to the attention of Priority Waste, we can see those in real time, and then we can even see what the response are to those complaints. So it gives us a little bit of behind the curtain view of the operation. With the purchase, Priority will be eliminating older and less reliable GFL trucks, and they will also establish a call forwarding system that will last for at least 90 days, maybe up to 120 days, where if someone calls GFL, that will automatically get rerouted to Priority for their issues to be handled, so the transition would be smooth. So overall, we're optimistic about the transfer, and we recommend the transfer approval for the remainder of the contract, which ends at the end of March in 2025. Are there any questions from council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Golick.
seeing that the contract ends in less than a year, when would you anticipate discussions with them as to a further contract?
So we would recommend going back out to bid once that contract is over. Obviously, they'd have the opportunity to bid on that. That bid process would be happening before the end of the contract.
Thank you.
The next item is the conditional site plan approval for Phase 1 of the Aquinas Plan Development. The Planning Commission reviewed the application, and they've given a conditional approval for the development. Earlier today, I spoke with Councilman Graziani, and he asked some questions really about the accountability around those conditions that you see in the packet. I just want to, so just to be clear, those conditions would all have to be met before they could receive a certificate of occupancy for the development. So they can't operate until all those conditions are met. Also regarding some of those conditions, I just want to note that item 4, that's regarding work along DeVoe. That work won't be necessary. They have received approval from the fire marshal to have just a single entrance in there, so that work actually is not necessary. Item 7 has been completed. That engineer review is in your packet. And item 13 is also not required, as the question regarding the siding, that was actually approved during the plan, that was approved during the planning commission meeting. So this site plan is just another important step to see this property redeveloped. It will also allow the developer to close on the property. So we're recommending its approval. Are there any questions from council? Okay. Seeing none, the next item is regarding the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget amendments, and I'm going to pass it over to our finance director, Doug Drysdale.
Thank you, Dan. We'll just go through these briefly, and I'll give a quick explanation that hopefully gives more than just what's written there. The first 2 items there are recognizing ARPA money that's being used for projects around the city. First one is the YubiKey multi-factor keys that we recently got from our IT director. That was $27,652. The next one is the roof that we replaced on the senior center and the ice arena. That amount was $560,404. Both of those have a net effect of 0 on the fund balance. The ARPA money is currently recorded as deferred revenue under the accounting standards. As we commit to projects and spend the money, then we have to move it into the revenue lines. The third item there, the $54,430 for assessing professional fees. This was a timing issue, an invoice that we got last year after the audit had been completed. So we are recording it this year as an additional expense for the thing. Over a 2-year period, it nets to a 0 effect on fund balance because it would have been in last year's, it's in this year's, so it kind of washes itself out over the 2-year period. The fourth item is related to our multifamily and apartment inspections. This program was started after the budget was approved, approximately last fall into the winter. That has a net effect of $351,066 increase to our fund balance. I do want to point out that a good portion of that, over $300,000, is a one-time revenue for the registrations. We won't see that every year, but just the initial registrations are in here, along with the inspections and the revenue from that. The next item is the tower project. This again is ARPA money coming from Wayne County. So we have the approximately $119,000 being spent this year on the project, and that is how much we expect to get reimbursed from Wayne County. So a net effect of 0 on the fund balance. Next, we have the item for pension contribution from the city. What happened is after the budget was approved, we had some people change departments, and the contribution follows the employee. So if it was budgeted in one department and they moved to a different department, we are reclassing it there. In addition, what we had budgeted was slightly less than what the actual contribution was. Net effect to the general fund is a decrease to fund balance of $43,192. The last item is a budget amendment for the fire department to increase the overtime due to staffing shortages. We've had to have more people working overtime to cover the shifts. We do have some savings in the full-time employees because of that shortage of staffing. So overall, the effect of all these budget amendments on the general fund will increase fund balance by $189,694. Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Dan.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. The next item is a recommendation for change order number 1 to the 2023-2024 sidewalk replacement program with Royal Cement. Royal Cement won the competitive bid for sidewalk replacements last year, and they've now agreed to add on restoration work that's needed for water main breaks, leaks, curb stop repairs. Are there any questions from council? Seeing none. The last item under Communications A is a request to approve Flow Air, the city's heating and cooling approved vendor, to install a new AC unit in the fire station's workout room. That space does not currently have AC, so to make it a functional year-round space for the firefighters, an AC unit would be needed. Are there any questions from council? Okay. And then the last item on the agenda is under Communications B. This is a letter regarding the Senior Alliance's 2025 Annual Implementation Plan. In previous years, the Senior Alliance would have sought a council resolution approving that plan. That step is no longer needed for them, but we still wanted to share what they provided for us, the link for their 2025 Annual Implementation Plan. So there's no action item needed for that.
Madam Chair,
Councilman
are
George.
they still providing the same services that they have in the past?
Yes, yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that being the last item, we'll reconvene at 7 o'clock. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Roush is excused. Councilman Ayers Reese,
Present.
Councilman Kowalski,
Present.
Councilman Golick,
Here.
Councilman George,
Here,
Councilman Graziani,
Present.
Councilman Kespa.
Here. I had a motion to approve the work study meeting minutes dated June 5th, 2024.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I move to approve the work study meeting minutes dated June 5th, 2024.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I had a motion to approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated June 5th, 2024.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion we approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated June 5th, 2024.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. No scheduled person in the audience, no consideration of bids, and no scheduled hearings. The first item under Communications A is a letter from the mayor regarding the refurbishment of a flatbed pickup truck. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the DPS Director, and I concur with his recommendation to approve the quotation from Truck and Trailer Specialties of Howell, Michigan for the refurbishment of an existing flatbed pickup truck in the amount of $3,677. Truck and Trailer Specialties has matched the state bid pricing for parts, and the DPS mechanics will install the equipment, saving approximately $1,933 in costs that would have been paid to the vendor. Sufficient funds are available in the DPS and Water Sewer Fund budgets to cover costs. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Kowalski.
I propose a motion to waive the bid process and approve the quotation from Truck and Trailer Specialties, Inc. for the refurbishment of an existing flatbed pickup truck in the amount of $3,677.00, utilizing the state of Michigan bid for the parts and equipment prices.
Support.
Motion by Kowalski, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is amendment from the administrator regarding the waste collection contract assignment to Priority Waste. Madam Clerk.
GFL Environmental USA has agreed to sell its Southeast Michigan municipal contracts to Priority Waste LLC. The transfer will occur on June 30th, 2024, with Priority Waste Services beginning July 1st, 2024. The city has an assignment clause in the GFL contract that requires City Council to approve the transfer of the agreement. The administration has met with representatives of Priority Waste regarding the transfer. Priority will assume the entire contract in the current rates with no lapse in service. Therefore, the administration recommends the approval of the agreement transfer to Priority Waste LLC for the remainder of the contract, which expires March 31st, 2025.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Golick.
I make a motion to approve the transfer of the commercial and residential solid waste collection and disposal and composting program agreement with Green for Life Environmental to Priority Waste LLC with an effective date of June 30th, 2024, and approve the city administrator to sign the consent letter for the agreement transfer.
Support.
Motion by Golick, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a memo from the administrator regarding the plan development phase 1 for 15601 North Line, the old Aquinas property. Madam Clerk.
The City Planning Commission conditionally approved the attached Phase 1 site plan for the plan development at 15601 North Line at the June Planning Commission meeting. Per City Code 1288.04, site plans for plan developments require approval of both the Planning Commission and the City Council. The project has been divided into 3 phases, the first of which is for self-storage use. Included in your packets is the site plan review application, the Carlisle Workman analysis, Hennessy Engineers review, the meeting minutes, and the Plan Commission resolution.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion to approve Phase 1 site plan for the planned development at 15601 North Line according to the conditions recommended by the Planning Commission.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Kowalski. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next, next is the memo from the Finance Director regarding the fiscal year 23-24 budget amendment number 2024-02. Madam Clerk.
Please find the proposed budget amendment 2024-02 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. The attached report proposes amendments to budgeted revenues and expenditures based on year-to-date activity and projected final balances in these accounts. These budget amendments are necessary to be in compliance with the State of Michigan's Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act. Amendments that are positive amounts represent increases to the adopted budget figures. Conversely, negative amounts represent decreases in the adopted budget figures.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Council Chair,
Councilman Graziani.
I move that the Southgate City Council approve the proposed budget amendment 2024-02 as detailed on the attached report.
Support.
Motion by Graziani, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a letter from the mayor regarding the approved change order number 1 for 23-24 side rack replacement program. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above and concur with the city engineer's recommendation to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $185,000 plus a 10% contingency of $18,500 for the agreement with Royal Cement of Southgate for the 2023-24 sidewalk replacement program, which was originally approved at your August 2nd, 2023 City Council meeting. The change order reflects the additional restoration work due to repairs by the city's water department of water main breaks or leaks, curb stop repairs, and replacements. Funds for this change order are available in the Water Sewer Fund. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Gollett.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 001 with Royal Cement in the amount of $185,000 plus 10% contingency in the amount of $18,500 for restoration services at the unit prices approved under the original agreement.
Support.
Motion by Gollett, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Last is a letter from the mayor regarding the approved installation of fire department weight room air conditioner. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the fire chief, and I concur with his recommendation to approve the quotation from Flow Air Heating, Cooling, and Electrical for the installation of a new air conditioning unit in the fire department weight room in the amount of $7,982. Sufficient funds are available in the fire department. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Kowalski.
I propose a motion to approve the quote from Flow Air Heating and Cooling and Electrical for installation of a new air conditioning unit in the fire station weight room in the amount of $7,982.00.
I happily support.
Motion by Kowalski, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. One item under Communications B to receive and file a memo from the administrator regarding the Senior Alliance implementation plan. I'll need a motion to receive and file.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I make a motion to receive and file.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion or objection? Motion carries. No ordinances. Is there any old business the council would like to discuss? Seeing none, is there any new business the council would like to discuss?
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I forgot, well, I was going to ask during work study, do we have any places for those that don't have air conditioning or whatever needed? Are they supposed, where they're supposed to go? Do they go to the library or to the senior center? Where do they go?
Yeah, this week the senior center was available. Tomorrow it'll be the banquet, the rec center or the banquet hall is what's available from 10 to 4.
Okay, and so then if they can't go to the senior center, they go to the library, which closes at 9, and then it's not open on Friday or Sunday. So we're doing the best that we can,
Yeah.
and that's,
Yeah, but for tomorrow with the library being closed too, we will have the banquet hall as well.
okay, thank you so much.
Any other new business? Seeing none, we want to unscheduled persons in the audience. If there's anyone that would like to address council, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address council. Seeing none, we move on to claims and accounts. Councilman Graziani.
Move the Southgate City Council approve warrant 1499 in the amount of $3,4994.35.
Support.
Motion by Graziani, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion or objection? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Golick. Any discussion or objection? We're adjourned.
Madam Chairman, I want this official